everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Continuing the readathon for the American Cancer Society, The Eyes and the Impossible by Dave Eggers. And wow, well, we learned why the ducks were not reliable. Quite funny, really. It kind of reminds me of Monty Python. If you don't know who that is, ask your parents or grandparents, kids. It's fine. Yeah. But if you know, you know. Um, so they're trying to find a way to get the bison onto the boat so that they can be free. But the bisons don't know about this plan yet. It'd probably be a good idea to clue them in. Now, I have a couple of theories about this, and I'm going to tell you because it's my channel and I can, so there. Possibly the bison, because the last time we saw the bison, they were surrounded by humans and they had all sorts of equipment and stuff. Maybe, just maybe, they're going on the boat anyway. Maybe they are relocating the bison to like another zoo or something. It's a thought. Um, Also, where's Bertrand? He's not around. Very suspicious. Usually he's everywhere. And, he didn't seem too thrilled that Johannes was talking to Helene the goat. Maybe he's jealous? I don't know. What do you think? Well, let's get cracking. We'll read chapter 29 today. I had made a plan with Helene to talk to the goats once their day was done. It was just before sunset when I went to the windmill and found them all still eating, their heads down and jaws churning. Helene led me to a hill overlooking the field of flowers and weeds, though the weeds were nearly gone. Not one of the goats looked up. Just bark, Helene said. Bark? I asked. Do you know how to bark? She asked. Usually the dogs will bark. I had only barked a few times in my life. Being the eyes required speed and stealth, and barking eliminated both, really. Barking brought attention to oneself and slowed one down considerably. You can't run so fast without barking. Not everyone knows that. But I understood her meaning. I needed to make some sound so the goats would take notice, and only a few of them had seen me ever, so I figured a very loud first impression might be in order. Yip, I said, or I thought I said yip, but even Helene, who was standing next to me, didn't seem to hear it. The wind from the ocean was strong, so I thought my yip had gotten lost in the offshore breeze. I tried another yip, this one louder. This time Helene took notice, but also smiled a pained sort of smile, as if to tell me my yip was more like a yip. I had to do much, much better. I decided to just go big and bark. I sucked the wind from the ocean, and I ate the clouds from the sky. I looked to the sun and gathered from her all the strength she had to give. And I roared a kind of bark that was also a howl, and also a bellow, and even a bit of a squall. I had my eyes closed as I unleashed it, and when it ended, I opened my eyes to find 1,000 goat heads and 2,000 goat eyes looking up at me, terrified. I had no idea what to say to them. But Helene did. In the morning, she whispered to me. In the morning, I roared. We will engage in a heroic act, Helene whispered. We will engage in a heroic act, I roared. I think it's cute that little polite Helene is whispering the speech to Johannes. I already saw that these were the right words. The goats, who I took to be only interested in eating prickly leaves, seemed very interested in the words heroic act. We will cloak and free 3 animal captives, Helene whispered. We will cloak and free 3 animal captives, I roared. I repeated her words for a bit. And soon enough, I had gained confidence and momentum enough to lay out the plan. The work of the goats was not so complicated, I should say. They merely had to surround the bison, leaping and baying and generally making chaos all around, so the humans minded them, minding them would have trouble seeing the bison in their midst. By the end of our gathering, I was convinced that the goats would perform their duties with passion and determination. The rest would be up to the gulls, the pelicans, the rats, the raccoons, the squirrels, and the horses, with absolutely nothing being done. please and thank you, by the ducks. Those ducks. The only problem with any of this was that we had not yet found an opening to tell the bison about this soonness of their escape. All day the bison had been surrounded by those new humans in official seeming clothes with their new tools. Every so often, Yolanda would fly overhead to see if anything had changed, if the humans had left, and it wasn't until deep in the evening that she reported the bison were again alone. We heard, Freya said to me when I finally snuck into the enclosure. All three bison were in the corner farthest from the human-made parts of their world, and we are ready. We are so ready, Meredith added. The humans had spent the day measuring and weighing and poking the bison. It was humiliating, Samuel said. Degrading, Meredith said. These were new people from a university of some kind, Freya said. I did not know what a university was, so I said nothing, but I saw that Freya was both depleted and very angry. I had never seen her so angry. The usual park people treat us kindly, she said. We have known them for many years. In most cases, we have been there far longer than them, so there is a respect there, a respect for one's elders. But these new people, to them we were just things, rocks to turn over and inspect. Things to proke and pod. Sorry. Proke and pod? How about poke and prod? Good job, said Samuel. So we are ready to go, Freya said again. I was thrilled to hear this, so we went over the plan, which both Freya and Meredith found reasonable and plausible. Samuel was not optimistic about its likelihood of success, but I had anticipated his dour outlook. As long as Freya and Meredith were for it, though, it would happen, and Samuel would go along. Freya had told me many times that Samuel would do anything to avoid being alone. Now, Johannes, Freya said, her eyes suddenly intense and upon me, when we are gone, I would like you to take over. I would like that you be the keeper of the equilibrium. Would you do that? I could not respond. There had been no build-up, no preamble, but Sonia had been right. I know it is quite a bit of responsibility, she said, but you are the clear choice. You have been essential to our work, and you have been privy to our deliberations and judgments. You are younger than we are, of course, but we have every faith in you. We really do, Meredith added. She smiled at me through her watery eyes. You'll do so well. Samuel said nothing, and finally Meredith turned to him, annoyed. Now would be the appropriate time for you to offer some encouragement. Well, he muttered, there really wasn't anyone else. I accepted. I would be the keeper. But when can we talk about all I need to know? I asked. There were so many thousands of things to ask, and there was nowhere near enough time. My son, Freya said, you have been the ice for a long, long time. There is nothing left for you to know. And though I did not believe this, I accepted her verdict. I had no choice. Samuel gave her an imploring look, and Freya looked down then at me. There is one more thing, she said. Yes, I said. You're half coyote, she said. Okay, sounds good, I said because I had not heard her correctly. No, she said, her voice firm. Listen to me carefully. Your father was a coyote. I laughed. I laughed because it was such a stupid thing for them to say. It was such a terrible thing at a time like this when we had so much planning to do. I'm sorry, son, Freya said. Maybe we should have told you sooner. I told you we should have told him sooner, Samuel said. I couldn't speak. What Freya had said didn't make sense. Think about it, she said. Why do you think you're so fast? Why do you think the other dogs in the park look like you're different, like you're similar but radically apart? My throat dried. My eyes swam. Here's another picture, and you can see him there. To me, this does make sense because of the pictures and how he said the dog looked like me, but it was not like me. I think there could be truth in this. We know that his mom was a kept dog, but they never said anything about his dad. I gotta take a drink of something real quick. What? Mm. Why do you suppose you make the unusual sounds you do? Do you know any other dogs that say ha ha hoo hoo? As you know, I had thought all these things were due to me being a free dog, a fast dog, an extraordinary dog. This is what a coyote says, she said. This is a sound your father made. We loved that sound. She looked to Samuel and Meredith, who both smiled. I could tell their minds had journeyed far into the past. Your father was the last coyote on this island, Samuel finally said. When he died, all that was left of his kind was you. Oh, how my mind spun! For a moment I believed them. Then I did not believe them. No, they were old and their minds were not sharp. This could be some sort of dream thought of theirs, some strange error of fading minds. He was quite majestic, Meredith said. I had no plans to ever tell you, Freya said, because it would not help you to know. It would only endanger you, really. It was better for you to think that you were all dog. But now that the humans are looking for a coyote, you should know. They're looking for you, Samuel said. Bum, bum, bum. Am I surprised? Little bit. Did Dave Eggers play fair? He's been dropping crumbs, and we've been eating them up. So if you go back and rewind through the videos and listen to all the parts that are very coyote-ish sounding, it does make sense. So fascinating. What is he going to do with this knowledge, I wonder? I am intrigued. And still, no sign of Bertrand. Puzzling. All right, well, that's the end of that chapter. We'll have to find out next time. Roma, Riva, and Krishna, Auntie Heather loves you very much, and I love the rest of you too. Take care, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.